you think 8 years ago you were going to sit down and do a podcast?
No. I remember I was mentioned on one before when I first started. There was like 2 new guys.
Oh yeah,
that started.
Matt.
Yeah, he had one of the guys that trained here on, and he was like, "Dude, how about that Ashten kid?" He's like, "Oh, dude, we were doing butterfly sweeps one night, and he was like, I got paired up with this kid." He's like, "No offense, but I'm a 200-pound adult. I'm like, just gonna go with this kid." And he fucking flipped me on my back, dude, and I couldn't believe it. And then he did it again. And he's like, that's how I knew this shit was gonna be real.
Oh, yeah.
But that was pretty cool. I was like, dang, dude, like some recognition from somewhere else. And like, because you don't just hear people say stuff like that in the gym all the time.
Yeah, for sure. When you started coming in, was that your idea?
To start training?
Yeah.
No, I was, I never did sports or anything ever, but, because I just didn't like the team aspect. I wasn't very, social, so I was like, I'm just going to stay reserved.
That's kind of how I was.
Yeah, and my parents were like, you can try jiu-jitsu, because I, grew up watching UFC all the time. And I was like, all right, because I didn't want to do boxing. I didn't like getting punched in the face all the time. But like, you can go try jiu-jitsu. There's a 10th Planet around here. It's like Eddie Bravo's school. I was like, who's that? He's like, Joe Rogan's friend. I was like, I'll do that then. And so just one day they texted me like, there's a 10th Planet school. You want to come train? I was like, yeah, I'll try it. Came in for the first class. I was like, all right. I kind of noticed it was kind of new school, not like a bunch of super, a lot of kids that have been here for a long time.
Especially, that was when the kids class first started.
Yeah, I think it was
we only had the kids class for a month.
Yeah, like a month. That's what I was thinking. And so I don't have the same experience everybody did where they come in and they get beat up the whole time and they got to learn that way. But I came in, I was like, when are we going to do standing stuff, dude? When am I going to start punching people? So my mom was and I was like, what is jiu-jitsu? We were just rolling around the whole time. She's like, yeah, it's just kind of like wrestling. It's the best way I can describe it, but you get to choke each other. I was like, okay. So I just slowly started to get into it. And like I said, I wasn't getting beat up all the time like everybody else's story when they start. Yeah. So and I was already kind of the bigger kid when I started, and then a year in, I was able to come to the adult class, and Ryan and Jared and Austin, they would go light with me, let me practice and stuff, and that helped a lot, being able to practice stuff with them guys, because they were the guys here training the longest and obviously the highest belts now.
Yeah. And then now you see why I talk about that all the time, why I feel like that's so important to not just go ham every single round.
Yeah, because I felt like I was able to learn way faster because I was here for 2 years, 3 years, and purple belts were coming from other gyms, and I got my gray belt a couple weeks ago, and I'm just doing whatever I wanted. I'm got one in a triangle, knocked a water bottle over, I'll fix it, not even worried.
Yeah.
It was just because I wasn't going ham, and because then if you're going ham all the time, it's you might have just wasted a whole month or weeks or years just doing that, training like that.
What do you think the first thing was that you got good at?
Rubber guard.
Rubber guard?
Definitely. Yeah. Because that's as soon as I started competing, I'm pull guard every single time. And I think my first 2 competitions, maybe my third one too, go out there and do a triangle every single time. And it was always from rubber guard.
Yeah.
And even still to this day, I don't do it all the time, but when I get there, I'm still pretty confident I can finish a triangle or get to it or get a go from here.
Yeah. I think most of my first competitions were all arm bars and triangles from guard.
Yeah.
But actually, my very first competition ever, I didn't even train anywhere. And I tried, not even an Americana, but it was a straight arm lock that Matt Hughes tried to do on Hoist Gracie when they fought in the UFC.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah. So it's you're going for an Americana, they straighten their arm to get out of it. And so it ends up just being almost an inverted arm bar. Right?
Yeah.
And I tried that, and I didn't realize that why that actually happened. I was just straighten their arm out and try to do the arm bar.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to go for that, and I remember I think I ended up losing by like 2 points or something like that because like as time ran out, that was what I had, and I was like just trying to rip on that.
Yep.
And then like looking back later on, like, oh, you could have just went for a Kimura.
Yeah, there's
instead.
a Kimura
It
there.
would have been much better.
It kind of becomes a dilemma from that point right there.
Exactly.
So how were you training then? If like you just signed up for a competition watching videos?
I made mats in my garage, and then I would just invite my friends over and be like, hey, you want to try this? And that's probably pretty much why the majority of my friends don't do it anymore. But
yeah. So did you like get into it from watching UFC and you're like, I want to try this, but there's no gyms around at that
pretty
point?
much. I watched some of the original UFCs first, and then that was kind of how I found out about jiu-jitsu, and I was like, oh shit, like this is cool. Like,
yeah.
And especially like that was kind of like the selling point, but I sold it, or I watched the original UFCs like probably in like 2004 or 2005. That was when I watched them for the first time. Damn. And so, like 10 years after it actually happened, that was when I was watching them.
Yeah.
And that was what made me start looking it up. And there was like no jiu-jitsu schools. And then also, it's not like BJJ Fanatics existed back then, so you didn't have videos and stuff to watch. Like there were like very few things online that you could watch to try to learn how to do jiu-jitsu. So it was pretty much like you would have to like watch like the UFC and then like just try to do what they did. And then now looking back to, very few people back then were actually good at jiu-jitsu. Like especially like early 2000s. Like I mean, they were black belts, but like as far
compared
as like,
to today's,
as far as like technique goes, like it wasn't that great. Especially because it's like MMA grappling. It's like slightly different, and they're worried about different things. But not a whole lot to study back then.
Yeah, I remember like growing up, ever since I was born, it was always going to beat-ups this weekend, and then we're watching UFC. I'd be sleeping in these metal chairs, hating it, and then like there's one specific fight that I remember most of it, and it was the Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva, and he's just laying down on the mat, walks out in the middle, and he's just standing there, watching him go behind. Like, look at this fight, what is he doing right now? And Joe's freaking out, and I was like, it was kind of just the only thing I kind of gravitated towards was martial arts.
Yeah.
And then like it just helped tremendously that my parents were all about it, even though neither of them ever trained.
Yeah.
But my dad's like, he's super smart about jiu-jitsu and like what you need to do and how to relate to it and things like that. Really surprising. And he's like just using his analogies with chess, because he's super good at chess. Yeah. He's like, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
You're just using your body at this point. You got to be able to set up traps, stay moves ahead of them, and you got to have your own kind of game. But you know, you might got to sacrifice this one piece here, and you can see that they kind of want it. Yeah. But you got to be setting up your own trap on the other side of the board. And as soon as they do it, boom. Yeah. And he's like, you're describing what we learned tonight, and you never even trained before.
Yeah. That's pretty much exactly how I try to teach, get people to learn how to set traps. And most of the time it would be just like chess, where like the person with the less experience, like they don't even realize that there is a trap. Like they just rush into it and they're just moving things, and then they don't even realize how far ahead. Like you may be 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. Like, I mean, sometimes maybe even they make the first, second move, and then you realize like, oh, it's game over already. Like,
yeah, I know. I was kind of having that last night when I was rolling with someone, and it's like since I just got my wisdom teeth, I was like, my main goal was like, just don't get your guard passed, and you'll be fine, because then you're not gonna get cross-faced or nothing. So I'm like playing butterfly the whole time. And he's like trying to figure out how to get underhooks and do the body lock passes. And we spent like almost 10 minutes, and I was kind of stuffing it, staying up, being able to prop up on my elbow and not be flat. And after, he was like, yeah, I was going for the body locks. I was like, I know. He's like, and I was that naive to think that you didn't know the whole time. I was like, yeah, you just like I'm just like 3 moves ahead of you, you know? Like I've done the same thing, trained with other guys who do this stuff. I can... You know, you notice what you're going for at that point.
You can see the setups like 2 moves before they even actually set up.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not even the move yet. It's just you see the setup for the setup.
Yeah, you see what they're going to go for, and it's like, all right, I only got a couple reactions from here, and so do they. So I got to start anticipating things, and like if I move this piece, he's going to want to do that one, but none of it's even happened yet.
Yeah. Do you feel like you study a lot of jiu-jitsu, like outside the gym?
I'd say I really started getting into studying it a lot more lately, especially with the help of that one drive, but it's like I have to look at it from like two different perspectives sometimes. Like there's an entertainment perspective and there's like a learning perspective, and I always find myself gearing towards the learning side. I hardly ever go towards the entertainment part of it, but yeah, I do study quite a bit when I'm out of here, especially at work, being there for 12 hours, 3 days in a row, and like kind of got like a seat job now, so I can just prop my phone up and I'll throw on some like old Gary Tonin compilations or some highlights then and be like, and I'll just focus on like the first 2 minutes of it, like breaking down this one move, and it'll be 15 minutes long and I won't even get through it because I'm just, all right, I got to remember this key detail, and I'm watching, like you said, like I'll watch the video, what's his foot doing? And I'll rewatch it like 5 times. Okay, now what's his left hand doing? And then rewatch it, and I'm like, okay, how do I implement this other places too? Like, because there's fundamentals buried in everything. It's like, okay, so it comes off of this move that I already know right now. It's just, got to turn my hips a little bit more this way. And so I study quite a bit outside of the gym. And then I kind of try to gear it towards what we're also learning at the same time. Like I've noticed like 1 week we'll be doing back attacks, and then another week we'll be doing back defense. So I'll kind of try to get a refreshed memory on what we're doing, and just like I was watching a Damian Maya video out in the parking lot on back escapes when we were doing back escapes that week, just to get another perspective on how things are done, and then try those out. But yeah, it's like the only sport that I do enjoy watching at all. Like I'm not watching football, baseball that often, but
in the beginning, did you study at all?
No, I didn't even really look at it as something like to study.
How far along do you feel like you were before you started studying?
It'll be 9 years this year, so I want to say around when we started coming to train at this gym is when I started really looking into studying things. Because I remember when we would watch the EBIs at the old gym, I just wasn't into it at that point. Because I also had like no knowledge really, like these high level dudes like Eddie Cummings is going there leg locking people. I don't know what a heel hook is yet, and it's like I was kind of just playing Call of Duty on the Xbox that you guys brought over. But it's like after we started coming here, and then it's probably ADCC 2019 after we watched Gordon just run through everybody, and then he hit that shoulder crunch sweep on who was it, Buchecha. I was like, damn, okay. And then I started seeing other people start breaking down the video, and then he would break it down, and then started getting into BJJ Fanatics videos from there. So it was probably around 2019 is when I really started to look into studying jiu-jitsu outside of the gym and not just having you do it all for us and then come in here and learn.
I feel like that shoulder crunch is like one of the most like game-changing techniques that wasn't even a finish of the match. Like, it wasn't even a submission. And, like, after he did that shoulder crunch on Buchecha, like, I feel like you started seeing it everywhere. Like, everyone was like, oh, I need to start doing that. And, I can't even really, like, think of many other, like, moves that aren't submissions that, like, kind of just blew
people
up
start
like
to go
like,
for. That's true.
Everything else is, like, I mean, different types of leg locks and buggy choke and things like that, but not really many like non-submission.
Like, oh, here's a pass, and then that kind of stuff.
Like
just
sometimes there
appear.
are like body lock passing, but like even then, like I feel like that shoulder crunch was like everybody was trying to do a shoulder crunch after that ADCC.
And I think like with a lot of butterfly sweeps, there's not too much connection at first, other than like pinch headlock sweeps. But you're kind of all right, got to go for the steering wheel here, but like they can back out of it if they really don't want to do jiu-jitsu right now. But if you're able to get to that shoulder crunch, you can impose the move against them. And there's dilemmas from it that are pretty controlling. You know, they're pulling back, push the head down and sweep them over. They come back in to defend that, you take them over, and you have control of that shoulder the whole time. So it's like you're not just going to get up and run away.
Yeah.
And there's like key details in it too. Like your elbows got to be up.
Yep.
Elbows down, they're pulling the shoulder out every time. And you're hugging as tight as you can.
Especially when they're sweaty. It's so hard to hold on to if you do it wrong. Mm-hmm. Do you think you have a, like not like a favorite person, but like a favorite type of training partner? Or like your favorite training partners, what make them your favorite?
You know, I think I like the guys who can turn up the pace, but they're not always, it's not their number one goal, but they'll stop and ask questions like after the roll and then go back and do it with me. And then we can run through it, and I'm able to stop and ask them questions. It's not just, all right, we're here, we're going to fight for this round and then move along to the next guy. It's like an actual learning environment that's going on. Even if like I could smoke this dude the whole time or this guy could smoke me the whole time, they're actively trying to practice something within the role, or I'm also actively trying to practice something in the role. So they're not just going for the A game the whole time. Like I was talking to Ryan after, like I was trying to let him mount me so I could work on my mount escapes because his mount's really good, but he just wouldn't do it. And like for the past 6 months, I'm like, I would just hate getting smothered underneath of his mount, and then this roll's different.
Yeah.
What the heck? And he's like, yeah, I was trying to do side control escape. It's like, then you were never gonna mount me the whole time. So I kind of like when they're trying to work on certain things, because then he's letting me get past his guard. Now I can focus on, instead of just, okay, I got this black belt here and I'm going to spend the entire round trying to get past him. Yeah. Never going to submit him, never going to do anything. We're going to spend time in a neutral position. He actually lets me work by, and now I can work on maintaining side control, and you can work on getting out, or, you know, I might expose something he might have never even seen. So just actively trying to learn in the role instead of just can't let him get this position whatsoever.
Sometimes if you both go into the round as like this is gonna be a competitive round. Like I'm not gonna work on anything new. I feel like a lot of times, especially against like your consistent training partners, like those can be super boring rounds. Yeah. Just like when you watch like a lot of like points matches, like man, it's been 8 minutes, it's 0-0, and those aren't the most enjoyable rounds, especially like looking back. Like I didn't get really a whole lot out of that other than tired. Yeah. So I don't always seek out those rounds, but it's because to me I feel like I'm not working on anything new. It's not like stimulating, I guess you'd say.
And it's when you're drilling too. It's like you gotta be willing to get beat and be put in those bad spots. Like when you emphasize, actually try to get out of back control. Like the person on the back. Yeah. They're going to be there for 5 minutes, and their goal is to submit you, and you're not allowed to get out. But try to defend and try to make realistic movements. Don't just sit there with your hands on your face, blocking the choke the whole time.
Or even worse, like the really strong guys that will just hold your hands so that you can't choke them, but they also never try to get out. Yeah. And when you try to get out, like you're going to have to eventually let go of that, and that's where everything's going to kind of open itself up. But it's going to make it a more enjoyable round, and like even if you do get submitted, like you should look back and be like, oh, okay, I learned something, and not just like celebrate afterwards that you survived and the timer saved you. Yeah. So sometimes when I see that happening, I'm sure you know, but like I'll see things like that happen and I turn the timer off. I'm not gonna let the timer save anybody. So I'll make people work out of it, and like when you get out or you get submitted, that's when the round ends.
Yeah. Because the person stalling, it's like you pay for a membership to come here because you wanted to get good at jiu-jitsu when you started, and for 5 minutes you're going to just lay there and not try to even learn yourself, instead of going for an escape that we just practiced tonight or previously while this guy's trying to submit you. Instead of just working for that escape to maybe you can get better at it or figure out why do I keep getting submitted, I'm just going to stay here
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense in my brain whatsoever that you're paying however much to come here and lay here.
Yeah, to a lot of people that makes perfect sense. Like, because they're worried about winning, and like, I don't know if exactly, because also I don't think like that, but I almost feel like it's if they win in the drill, like they think that I'm gonna watch that and be like, oh, he's ready for his next belt, and like obviously that's not the case at all. Like,
Yeah.
like I want you to have like technical knowledge and actually know what you're doing, and like not just, oh, you came in and you overpowered everyone, and it's like, you could have done that on your first day.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have skills. Like, you could be a giant, strongman, Brian Shaw type character, but can you come in and teach the kids class how to do those moves?
No. Yeah. It's
I'm here to say that I don't think that team's going to do so hot.
yeah. And like getting rid of the whole like getting promoted mindset is probably the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, there's colors in jiu-jitsu on your belt. That's pretty cool, but I could hand you a blue, purple, brown, or black belt, and you still don't know how to do a triangle correctly.
Yeah.
It's like focus on doing the triangle, and then any other moves, and better your skill set, and then you're gonna have a blue belt around your waist. You're gonna have a purple belt around your waist. Just you got to actually build the skills, not just show up to class and just make attendance. I've been training for 8 years. What do you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no technique. You're jumping through the whole round, and then you ask, how do you think that round went? I think I got one good pass. How'd you do it? I don't know. Yeah. It's like, well, that's why you're still a white belt, and you've been training for that long.
Like the time doesn't matter. I've had so many people over the years, like, I've been here for 2.5 years now, 3 years now, whatever, and like, okay, like, you could be here for 9 months, and if you're killing it with technique and like, you could start like actually showing other people that you know the technique, and you could walk through it and you do it correctly, and you beat people with skill, then that's more important to me than how long you've been training.
Yeah. Like BJ Penn, he got his black belt in 3 years?
Yeah.
And it wasn't because he wanted his black belt.
Yeah.
It was because he said, I just got so obsessed with the sport itself and was just engulfing myself in it. So he had no desire for the belts. It was just get better. And then 3 years later, he's got a black belt. I'm like, how does that even happen? And he's going out there beating black belts. So it just wasn't handed to him for no reason.
There's also another... a weird opposite of the belt, though. The people who say they don't care about belts, but deep down they really care about the belts.
Yeah.
And they don't care about the belt usually because they think that they should be higher than they are.
Yeah, so then this one it's like, they don't even matter. Yeah. If I'm not a purple belt yet, then this one...
I didn't get my brown belt, but belts don't really matter. But like if I did, it'd be sick.
Yeah. I feel like I've always been like, I'm one belt behind where I'm at, is like how I've always felt about doing jiu-jitsu. Because like even if I could go out here and beat up the new guy and do whatever I want, or even another purple belt or brown belt, it's like, just get like this imposter syndrome whenever I even get promoted or whatever belt I'm at. So it's like, I don't know, it's almost like the best one to have, because you're not like, fuck belts, but you're also not like, that's the only reason I'm here, so I can walk around and tell people I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But it's, I don't know. I've never felt like, yep, I belong right here.
Yeah.
I think competition definitely helps with that, solidify that feeling of where you belong at in the belt system. Because when you roll with the guys you're training with all the time, it's like they've known your moves for however long they've been training. So somebody knows that I play rubber guard all the time, and I don't wrestle all the time. So it's like they never have to worry about me trying to take them down.
Yeah.
But when you go out and compete, it's like, I have no idea what this dude's game is whatsoever. And when you're able to actually go out there and submit him and make him give up, and it's like, okay, maybe I do belong in the blue belt or the purple belt, but I'm in here going against a blue belt, and I'm a purple belt, but he knows my whole game and everything like that. It can be harder to even submit him sometimes than when you're out there competing, because you're just aware of what moves you're going to make on the chessboard the whole time.
You feel like you have a favorite moment of competing?
Man, it's pretty sick. I've done pretty well out there competing. So whenever my family's there, because there's always a lot of pressure. My grandparents always want to come. My girlfriend will want to be there. My parents will want to be, and like just friends everywhere. So when I can go out there and perform, I like that a lot. But there was some moments at like the Cherry Valley one where I'd get like 5 people in my bracket, and I'm able to just all 5 submissions. And then the next competition, all 5 submissions. They're just actually being able and going out and submit someone, not just winning on points. So when I can go out and, like, you showed me just before my first match, we were always doing like the buzzsaw passing when I really started doing that. And whenever they post on that far shoulder, when you're going like to cut the angle, you get the underhook and boom, they kind of stop you from being able to go chest to chest. Just bump it, take the Kimura. And that's exactly what I did in the very next match. I was like, this is sick. He just showed me this like 2 minutes ago. And then being able to go through that whole tournament and just all submissions.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm 16. Yeah. All these guys are 24, 25.
I think I've only done that twice, or maybe 3 times. I think I did it once at white belt, once at blue belt, and once at brown belt.
Yeah.
But those are good days.
I felt like I did pretty good when I went and did my first purple belt tournament, because like I hadn't been here all that often when I got my purple belt, and then being able to go out there and get second at the Arnold going against all them guys, hitting a little flip arm bar, and then like the dudes that I go against, I'm kind of lanky for my division, so they're all super stout, muscular, so it's like they're like boulders trying to move them across the ground, and it's hard sometimes, so it's like whenever I can just use my technique to completely just dismantle this dude's strength is like, feels pretty good to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because then you know, this shit I'm learning is actually real and it works.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have a bad experience from competing ever?
A bad experience? I mean,
have you ever been like bummed out after a competition?
Oh yeah. There was I did a competition in, it was either Cleveland or Cincinnati, and I went up there by myself. I think Adam Fritz was there, so I ended up having him sit in the chair, but they put me in 2 different divisions, and this, I had 2 kids in this division with me, and then the other division, there was one of those kids in there and someone else, so I was going to go against this same guy 2 times, and then I go in there. In the first division, it was the lower weight that I think I actually went in at, and beat the first guy. I think it was like a go-go plata in like 20 seconds. And then the next match, I think I held him in rubber guard for the entire time. And then it went to overtime. And then he attempted a Kimura. I got out of it. And then he won by like 1 point because of that submission attempt. So I was like, damn, all right. He just beat me. Yep. Now I got to go over to this next division that he's also in. So I'm like, all right. He knows what I'm going to try to do. And he's, I didn't really see much of his game except for the Kimura attempt because I held him in rubber guard the whole time. And I think at that point was kind of a very big wake-up call after this tournament to start working on other things than just rubber guard because it failed.
Yeah.
At that point, my technique was not up to par for his defense at that point. So we go into the next match, and I beat the first guy pretty quick with a straight ankle lock, and then I'm going against this next kid again. And for the whole 5 minutes, he pulled guard this time. I was like, what the fuck? And then so he pulled guard, and then gets me in full guard, and I didn't really know the, all right, stand up, step your foot back, and you know, anticipate if they sweep me, pinch my knees, lift the ankles that I do now. But I was just so scared to posture. So I was like holding on to the back of his head. I'm up on my feet because I'm like, I know he can't sweep me if I'm holding him here, but I also can't get out. Yeah. So for 5 freaking minutes, I just stood up and tried like hanging onto his head, trying to figure out how to get out of his guard, but I just couldn't. And then the match was over, and then the ref decided that I was stalling the whole time, and then he got the win. So out of over 10 minutes, 1 point was scored, and I lost both matches. And it was the same dude. And I'm like, and he had some gay nickname, dude. I was like, oh my gosh.
I lost to that guy.
Yeah, so at that point I was like, all right. But it was probably the most beneficial tournament I ever did up to that point, because all the other ones I was winning, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Sick.